It's safe to say that Scoot Henderson's first year and a half in the NBA has been pretty shaky, where so far he's failed to live up to expectations as a 3rd overall pick. But Scoot over the past 6 games has been playing his best basketball, and the big question is Henderson actually figuring out how to have a consistent impact on a night-to-night basis? Or is this just a stretch of hot shooting? In this video, we're going to do a deep dive on the stats and film to both see what exactly Scoot's been doing to find success on the court, as well as go over his current weaknesses and things he can improve on to play more consistent. Now overall, Scoot easily does his best work attacking the basket. Physically, Scoot's a stocky 6'3" point guard with a ton of quick twitch explosiveness. If the defense gives him any angles to the rim, it's really tough to recover and take away his driving line. And all that naturally carries over to his scoring in transition, where that speed and strength allows him to overwhelm the backpedaling defense. And along with that explosiveness in the open court, Scoot also has really good body control with the ball, which allows him to shift his weight side to side to sell moves. Watch him catch the ball and transfer his weight to his left foot, selling that drive. And when he feels the defense leaning, Scoot's going to transfer the ball through and get to this tough reverse layup.
Through the wickets, into the lane, reversing one up and in.
And that stability also carries over to Henderson's scoring in the paint, where he's got really good deceleration and control when finishing in traffic. We'll see him here explode to his right and get this outside driving angle. Then Scoot's going to pick up and euro back across the middle. This is also a really tough finish here, where Henderson is again driving to his right, and as he picks up, notice how he's going to slam the brakes by sticking all his weight into his left foot, which allows him to pop up vertical while the defense is drifting forward. And that deceleration also makes it easier for Scoot to find scoring windows against lane. He's going to dust the defense with a sharp right to left crossover. And as this big rotates across the paint, Scoot's going to pick up and hit this pinwheel step by ball faking off his left foot and stepping into a finish with his next stride. And Scoot also loves to initiate contact around the basket. Watch him here pick up with a head of steam and drive into the defense's body to then gather and shoot up for this finish. And Scoot's also found some success scoring out of pick and roll. First, he's been able to punish soft coverages with his pull-up shooting. And while his numbers this year haven't taken a huge jump up, he has caught fire over the past few weeks. And him being able to consistently punish the defense for giving him too much breathing room will make it way easier for him to turn the corner and put pressure on the rim. Notice on this play how aggressively CJ McCollum is stepping up and fighting over these ball screens. And once Scoot runs him into the pick, it's then just him and this big playing one-on-one.
It's going to be Henderson attacking Tice.
We can see the same thing here, where Scoot again turns the corner off the screen, and he has all this breathing room to work with. Out of pick and roll, I also think Scoot's taken a big jump as a playmaker. He's developed a nice pocket pass to the roller, and that rim pressure also opens up some pretty clear passing reads. Watch him here turn the corner and pull the weak side defense down, setting up this wide open corner 3. And Scoot's also getting comfortable reading the weak side of the floor. Notice here how this defender sinks down to tag the roller, clearing up the skip pass to the opposite corner.
It's because the officials...
With the ball, I also think Henderson has really sped up his decision-making process by both processing the floor faster and getting quicker with his passing deliveries. He's going to draw 2 defenders off this ball screen, and with no wasted movement, he's going to pick up the ball with one hand and snap this hook pass back to his teammate. I also love this read here, where Scoot's playing with this open ball screen, and he reads this gap defender sliding down pretty deep in help, so he just swings the ball across to Anthony Simons, giving him a clear closeout to attack. So while Scoot in pick and roll has made some real jumps as a scorer and creator, I still think he has some room for improvement. The first thing that stands out to me is going to be his pace. When turning the corner off these screens, Henderson's not super comfortable keeping his dribble alive and occupying the defense. It's pretty much always a quick shot pass or drive, without really probing or occupying the defense. And I've seen Scoot do this in some spots. Watch him here just take one extra dribble and veer back into his man, which slightly occupies this big, setting up this lob at the rim. And Scoot playing with more pace also opens up doors for his scoring. He's going to first come off his pick to then keep his dribble alive and allow the screener to reset, which opens up this clean pull-up.
Bucket after that timeout.
We can see a similar thing here, where Scoot first comes off, allows the pick to get reset, then comes off again for a nice floater. I would also love to see Scoot use his body more off the dribble. I love this clip here, where Henderson turns the corner and puts his man in jail to then initiate contact and separate for a step back. But plays like this happen few and far between. A majority of the time in pick and roll, Scoot doesn't really turn the corner and keep his dribble alive. Look at this play. As Scoot comes off, this big is in a heavy drop. Plus his man is pretty far out of position, but instead of using his body and occupying that space, Scoot just swings the ball. I would also love to see Henderson get better at setting his man up off these picks. He pretty much never initiates contact into his man and works tightly off these screens hip to hip, which makes it easier for his man to wedge himself through these actions. Notice here how much space there is between Scoot and the defense, and as the screen gets set, this defender can simply step up and eat up all that room. There's also times where Scoot allows physical defense to speed him up, where instead of absorbing that pressure and continuing to read the floor, he calmly gets pushed off bounds, which again turns these picks into a non-factor. Now, because Henderson is such a unique athlete, there are times he can get away with not running his man completely off the pick. Take this play for example. As the screen gets set across the middle, Scoot's just going to use his speed to blast off it, and he's able to turn the corner and set up this lob.
Comes off the screen, lobs it inside the D.
So while Scoot is finding some success with his scoring and creation out of pick and roll by heavily leaning on his physical tools, I still think he could be doing a lot more damage. From a talent and skill standpoint, he's for sure got the foundation. The explosiveness is definitely there, his pull-up shooting numbers are improving, plus his passing reads are getting sharper. I think for Scoot, it pretty much comes down to him having more pace and patience with the ball. And to throw out an example, I think Chris Paul is still one of the best players in the league at navigating off ball screens, while being well past his physical prime. First, he always comes off these screens hip to hip, which naturally forces his man into contact. Notice here how Paul's going to cross the ball to his left and pivot his right foot around to shield the ball, and he again comes tightly off the screen, setting up this wide open jumper. And Paul's also elite at using his handle and body to set up these screens, and that's what allows him to get so much breathing room when turning the corner. We'll see the screen here being set on Paul's left side, so in response he's going to sell the drive to his right to then cross the ball back to his left, giving himself all this daylight. And again, Paul's patience is what really ties everything together. He never allows physical or aggressive defenders to speed him up. Look at this play. He's being pressured out at the logo, and watch him just stay patient and allow the screener to pick the right angle, to then again come off tightly for a pull-up.
With a foot injury, here's Chris Paul for three.
So those are all things I think Scoot can add to his game. Again, the raw talent is for sure there. And at age 20, Henderson still has plenty of time to improve on all this. And if he can mix that in along with improving his outside shooting, I think Scoot could become an all-star caliber point guard in the years to come. But right now, I still think Scoot has a long way to go, and truthfully, many of his offensive explosions could be chalked up to hot 3-point shooting, which is great in spots, but Scoot hasn't yet shown on a big sample size of games that he can be a consistent shot maker. Over Portland's last 6 matchups, Scoot's been lights out shooting over 46% from 3, but in the 6 games before that, Henderson shot an unimpressive 29%. So again, I think there is a real path for Henderson to become a top tier guard in the league, but it really comes down to tedious development year after year. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments who the kid should break down next. The kid's here.